Imagine this, a young guy in his 20s making more money than the CEOs of McDonald's, Ikea, Ford, Motorola and Yahoo combined.
Is that 99% of entrepreneurs never hit it. Every business that I've started since I was 25 has crossed 10 million. My name is Alex Hormozi, own acquisition.com. It's a portfolio of companies. There's over $200 million a year. I make these videos because I want you to make shitloads of money and make a big company so that someday we can partner together and take it to $100 million and beyond.
Alex Hormozi claimed to have made a jaw-dropping $200 million in his portfolio over just 5 years. Impressive, right? Alex is a self-made millionaire who's not only achieved incredible financial success, but has also gathered a huge following on social media, which skyrocketed in the past 2 years. At least in my algorithm, he pops up everywhere with a strong personal brand. He has a unique combination of an impressive physique and an intriguing appearance that some might describe as unconventional and the kind of homeless look. One thing is sure, he probably has a reason for doing it. When you listen to him, it seems like a real-life success story that's a guidebook for anyone wanting to make it big in business. But hey, the best stories always have a twist. Now here's the interesting part. While Alex shared his secret to success, he also told the story of how things really went in his beginning. But from a superficial view, he is riding high on success. So some folks started asking, is he for real? Could someone really achieve so much without cutting corners? Well, stick around, because we're about to see how it really went off. So let's turn back the clock and start from the very beginning where Alex's journey took off. Surprisingly, he had a pretty bad reputation at college in the beginning, focusing on partying instead of grades, which ended up with his father threatening to pull him out of school. But then his father gave him good advice.
I just went to my dad and I was like, how do I change what they're saying? How do I get them to say good things? And it sounds retarded to say this now, but what he said to me changed my life. And he looked at me in the eyes and he was like, why are you trying to change people's perception of you when you can just change who you are and let their perceptions catch up? The only way you're going to change your reputation is by being different. He's like, you need to stop being this person that does all these things and your reputation will catch up. And even if it doesn't, you'll always know.
So he changed 180 degrees and went from failing every class to getting straight A's in every class. As a first-generation Iranian American, he first took the safe route, going into consulting, but it didn't feel right for him.
I was 22. I had done everything that my dad had wanted me to do, and I was looking out from the condo that I had been able to buy with this job that I had, and I always hoped I wouldn't wake up the next day. I cherished the fact that it was so miserable that it got me to change. Pain motivates significantly faster and stronger than pleasure does. If you are angry, use it. If you are sad, use it. Or it uses you.
So he decided to quit his job to work as a personal trainer for minimum wage.
I didn't know whether I would succeed, but I did know I wasn't going to stop.
Quickly, he developed to become a gym owner, managing not 1, not 2, but 6 gyms within 3 years. But guess what? He had an aha moment when he realized that teaching others how to run successful gyms could be even more rewarding than doing one on his own. And so he started Gym Launch, a business that rescued failing gyms and got them new customers.
We would fly out to brick and mortar facilities. We'd sit at the front desk. I would spend my own money on everything. So the offer was pretty simple. I said I would fill your gym in 30 days for free. that was the offer. And the deal is I just get to keep the upfront cash that I collect, and then everything afterwards that's contract value you get to keep. It was a pretty compelling offer, right? They didn't have to do anything, right? They would just say yes, and then I would show up.
Over the same 4-year period, Alex founded and scaled 3 other companies across 4 different industries.
Every business that I've started since I was 25 has crossed 10 million. B2B services with Gym Launch, B2C consumer products with Prestige Labs, our supplement company, Allen, our B2B software.
Without taking any outside capital. At some point, he was guiding even 7 companies simultaneously. But this pressure was just too much for him. So he was drinking a whole bottle of Jack Daniels every night and really lived miserable. Luckily, through the whole journey, he was incredibly supported by his wife, Layla, who I respect as much as him.
Right around that point is when I met my wife, and then she just changed my life.
How did she change you?
Like, didn't think we were gonna go here. She believed in me. She stood tall when everything in my life was crumbling around me. I was like dead broke in her parents' house. And I was like, I think you should leave me. She pulled my chin towards her and she was like, I would sleep with you under a bridge if it came to that. 6 months later, I have $3 million in the bank account. All of that was the first 9 months of our relationship. For her to have that kind of belief was very, it was deep for me.
At his lowest of lows, he was caught driving drunk, so he had to deal with a culmination of setbacks. He had to close down gyms, refund clients, and deal with a financial mess. It was extremely stressful for him because he faced a lot of uncertainty. How will his future go? But instead of giving up, he decided to focus on his best business, gym launch.
Order your tasks in order of the leverage that they have. The definition of leverage is you get more output per unit of input. If I do a little bit and I get a lot, I have a lot of leverage. You simply have some things that you get more money per period of time and less money per period of time. That's it.
He learned that profit should be the name of the game, not just revenue. But it was still far from easy. At the start, after closing down his gyms, he had $23,000 left in his bank account. Not too much for all he has done during those years. But even more dramatic was that his payment processor kept in the money that he needed for his next step, which made him face bankruptcy head on. So he decided to max out his credit card limits and go all in on his plan with his girlfriend and a small team he gathered around him. Further, he understood painfully that the real value he created during this time was not money, but were his skills and experiences.
I believe that you should take all of the excess money, live as cheap as you can, take 100% of that excess money and invest it in education that increases your earning capacity. Skills stack exponentially. You got a video skill, now you got an editing skill. Now you understand social media, messaging, copywriting, and branding. Ooh, management and operations and leadership. See how that person starts to expand? You can imagine how their pay is going to dramatically increase because now you're a CMO, is that you are gonna spend your money not on the S&P, but on the S and me.
After overcoming all these issues and making up for the inexperiences of this sales business, he scaled to over 4,000 locations in 4 years. But still, he was in an even worse position because he had to sell more as his clients kept refunding him, which required him to sell more. So it was really building up this pressure. His problem was that he was only there for a certain period of time and didn't have control afterwards. His clients basically took his value and afterwards refunded him. So he wanted to transition to an online fitness course. But when he was telling his gym owner clients that he is changing his business, they didn't want him to and were willing to pay for it. So he made a course that gave gym owners a winning formula and licensed all his resources to them. And that really was when everything took off. He made around $300,000 in 1 month. And yes, you heard that right. It wasn't a brilliant strategy, but rather an unforeseen rescue.
I'm a big fan of being directionally correct rather than absolutely correct. And so I think what happens is most people are trying to find the perfect answer when they have no perspective from which to make a judgment. They're trying to find the perfect thing to do when they haven't done anything. So how will you have perspective to make a judgment?
At the end, his most notable exit for a single company was his licensing business for $46 million in 2021, which made his book, which is linked in the description, and social media presence look insignificant. I really want to highlight that only as a team the Hormozis were able to grow, as this was far from all of their success. It began with this smart decision. He transitioned from CEO to the owner or shareholder position in these companies. In 2020, he founded Acquisition.com.
Acquisition.com, which is an investment firm for all of the money that we made during those businesses to invest in other ones.
As a way to invest his own wealth, both monetary and intellectual capital, into other businesses. It now makes $200 million a year. The portfolio is based on his investment thesis focusing on asset-light, high cash flow, sales-focused service, and digital product business. He basically uses the same playbook for each business and increases their valuation, but he only remains the minority shareholder, so he doesn't have to manage it himself. The crazy thing about it is that he still hasn't any outside investors. Now, let's uncover the keys to Alex's success. He firmly believes that it's not only about making money, but also about making smart money by preserving what you earn. He emphasizes 3 essential principles. First, profitability, which involves focusing on generating profits rather than just revenue. Second, pivoting, which means adapting and changing direction where necessary. And ultimately, persistent, which entails never giving up and persevering through challenges. So what's the big takeaway from Alex's journey? Alex Hormozi's story serves as a valuable guide for me and for you, highlighting the importance of hard work and strategic thinking. He was always willing to learn from failures and achieving goals, and really investing in building up skills. What stands out is his ability to express his thoughts openly and take full control of his life without external pressures from investors. However, he also emphasizes the need to avoid common pitfalls such as losing focus or overworking, instead of leveraging resources effectively. As always, I've linked the learnings that I summarized in the description. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it, and we see us next time on Thursday. Have a nice day, bye.